Hello racers, and welcome to the Portuguese track guide for a F1 2021 game. The Autodromo International Dual Garb is a clockwise 4.653 km topsy-turvy roller coaster track with 15 turns, 6 to the left and 9 to the right. It is a recent track within the F1 calendar after being completely rebuilt after the 1980s era of Senna and Prost, with 2008 being the reopening year and used for winter F1 preseason. It was also used for junior driver championships, where drivers like Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas experienced it during their junior careers. It was also a late calendar add-on in 2020, mainly due to the implications caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which seems to have impressed the audience so much that it was also included in the 2021 calendar as well, despite the short notices. Portimao is a modern venue with elevation changed back into its layout. The Ricardo Pena designed 4.6 km lap sends drivers swooping uphill and down-dale before culminating in a plunge down to the final right-hander at Galt, leading back to the pit straight. It is mostly renowned by eSport drivers for turns 5 and 8 due to their complexity, but also one of the most satisfying tracks on the calendar as it shows the true handling of an F1 car. The lap record holder is that of Lewis Hamilton back in 2020 with a 1 minute 18.750 and usually consists of a 1 to 2 stop strategy depending on the driver's style and aggressiveness on track. To the actual hot lap of this track, where we're going to explain the benefits and the non-benefits of this track. Mainly the benefits of this track is that you can gain so much time if you apply the right throttle application and turning and braking of each and every corner. The downside of it is the exact opposite, that is, if you really brake late or really don't apply the right throttle application, you may lose so much time in this track, and the time here in this track is so much important in order to get the flow of the track. But let's quickly get on with it. So we are starting the lap, we are applying the full throttle going to the left side of the track, turning on the DRS, and we are approaching turn 1, the hard right-hander, and we can notice here that we are braking into gear 5, going into this turn 1, trying to first keep as left as possible, then trying to kiss the turn 1 curb, and instantly going back into gear 6, going out into turns 1 and 2. So turn 3, we are braking at this point mainly just before that white line, as we have noticed, and we are trying to keep it as smooth as possible, trying to kiss the left hand curb, going into turn 3, trying to get the most fluent turn, although it wasn't the case in this case. But we are also noticing that beyond this turn we are still going as rightwards as possible, and we are not going into the far left side of the track, because approaching turn 4 we need to be as rightwards as possible, trying to short shift into gear 5, and as soon as we touch the curb here we apply gear 6 in order to keep the traction as good as possible, trying to have the best and most fluent carrying of speed without having the car to spin. Going into this turn 5, one of the most iconic turns in this track, and you can start noticing that we have been applying the brakes mainly almost at the 100-meter mark, because this is a downhill, and we are mounting the right side of the track of the curbs, and we are going down even into gear 1. But as soon as we kiss the curb of the inside apex of turn 5, we instantly upshift into gear 3, so we are upshifting quickly. Then as soon as we are straightening the car, we go into gear 4, and this is the moment where you need to really press the throttle in order to have the greatest exit as possible. Otherwise the car would be subject to a spin. Going into turns 7 and 8, this is a very difficult set of corners, but as you may see, I downshift here in gear 6 so that I get the right amount of turn and grip. I literally mount the inside curb, the inside apex, and as soon as I straighten the car here, I keep downshifting into gears 5, 4 and 3, and turn 8. This is the most difficult turn that you may see in an F1 2021 game, I think. This is an uphill, and the car would be carrying so much speed and turn that it's also natural that the car spins. But as soon as you touch the apex of this, you instantly shift up into gear 4 and keep the turn as low as possible. In fact, I'm already trying to straighten up the car as much as possible, getting that momentum and that flow going on. And as soon as I straighten up the car here, I plant the throttle in order to keep on going without making the car spin. So arriving to this turn, you may notice that I have started braking, still keeping on the left side of the track. But the reason of it is that I need to approach this corner as turned as possible in order to upshift into gear 4 and slowly plant it down on the throttle, where this would be the exact point where I need to put a full throttle so that the car doesn't spin, because the car is straightened up, but also being prepared to counter steer a little bit just to keep the car going straight. Another difficult corner, easy to go wide, easy to go non-wide or make the car spin. But as you may see, I have kissed the curb, literally going down into gear 2. But as soon as I'm gonna touch the inside curb, I'm gonna upshift into gear 3 and then quickly short shift into gear 4 in order to get that flow going with the full throttle application being made somewhere around here, because it's also very easy for the car to snap, and also upshift into gear 5 at this point. Why is that? The engine braking here is so hard to control, so we will need to upshift gear further in order to get the right braking point and right application of the corner in this case. In fact, I have downshifted into gear 3, kept the flow going, and as soon as I'm going to kiss the turn 14 curb, inside curb apex, I instantly upshift into gear 4, keep the flow going, and then apply the full throttle here in order to finish the lap, going round into turn 15, and then turning on the DRS, keeping the shortest distance possible in order to complete the lap. So that's basically it when it comes to the Portuguese track of the F1 2021 game. It is a very enjoyable track with the track elevations and the throttle applications and the short shifting techniques and everything. I hope you have enjoyed this track guide as much as I did, and let me know if you have any questions in this regard. I hope you a safe and pleasant rest of the day, and I'll see you on track. Ciao.